Jacinta Price is the Senator from the Northern Territory, but she's now the Shadow Indigenous Affairs Minister, and she joins us right now from her hometown of Alice Springs. Lovely to see you, rock star. Now, I talked about this before, about whether we should be increasing the number of senators. Labor seems to be fiddling with the idea. I know it's not your portfolio, but feel free to freelance if you wish. Should they be doubling the number of senators in territories? It sounds like it's a way to get more Labor and Greens out of the ACT, but would it mean that you'd be able to double the number of people on your side in the Northern Territory?
Look, it could possibly lead to that, but also, I don't know why there's this dabble in this. As far as most Australians are concerned, I think they're more sort of the thinking of less government, less politicians, less taxpayer funds spent in this particular way, and perhaps it is a consideration also around resourcing. I know that, in places like the Northern Territory, where electorates are quite vast, perhaps it is a case of supporting those larger electorates and those representatives from those electorates with better resourcing, and that might be a consideration. I don't know why at this stage they're deciding to want to tinker around the edges with this particular issue, but that's where I guess I'd be more inclined to lean, I think.
Now, we got our first poll that suggested that the strength of the yes case has been weakening, but the number of undecideds is quite significant. You would imagine by now that anyone who's still in the undecided camp is a potential for you to reach out on the no camp. Nationally, it's at 46%, but it doesn't matter nationally. It's about majority of people, majority of states. Victoria is yes at 52%, 17% undecided. New South Wales is 46 with 16% undecided. Western Australia is 46 yes, but 13% undecided. Tasmania, 38 yes, 29 undecided. Queensland, yes, 41 with 13% undecided. South Australia, 39 yes with 11 undecided. Do you think if somebody is undecided now, they, frankly, are being quiet about going no, or they're just waiting for more detail?
Yeah, look, I think they are probably being quiet about saying no, and I think the likelihood of them voting no is probably higher than the likelihood of them voting yes going forward. And a lot of people are still reluctant. A lot of people think, they don't like the stigma of the idea of the term racism being attached to them, and I think they'll find very soon that that shouldn't come into play at all, because there are a lot of Aboriginal people who don't agree with the voice, and the more that I think Australians can be informed along those lines, I think the more they'll realise that it's a bad idea voting yes at this next referendum. So, and I'll certainly be doing everything I can to make sure that Australians understand that it is a bad idea.
We learned from the Yes campaign that one of the things they plan to do is not just have the ads, not just have the media support, but they expect to have thousands of people that are willing to go door to door. Australian politics is always local, and always the human touch helps. So how does the No campaign go up against what is going to be an army of people willing to knock on a door and tell people to vote yes?
Well, we're also conjuring up an army ourselves, and we've got a few tactics up our sleeves moving forward. But I'm certainly hitting the road myself personally, and we've already got 650 people booked out for Perth coming up shortly, and others, tickets are going fast. But I'm hitting the road to get in front of Australians in these next couple of weeks, to set the record straight. To encourage people to bring this country together, to not divide us along the lines of race, to understand that we're all in this together. And as I keep saying, it's a bad idea, this referendum, and certainly it's a bad idea voting yes. So don't worry. We've got our tactics as well.
I love when you play close to your chest. It's good. I like the attitude that Advance Australia, I think, help put some money behind, but certainly you and your husband, it's good to see. Just finally, I want to ask you this, because now, of course, everyone's talked to you for the past week or so about the shadow portfolio, and only really spoken to you in relation to The Voice. What do you want to talk about apart from the voice? What do you hope you're going to be able to get some questions in Senate estimates, some issues you want to raise that are outside of the conversation about the voice? What's some other stuff that you hope we can talk about here and not be, in my view, distracted by the political tactic of only talking about the voice for 12 months?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, economic development for Indigenous Australians has always been something that I'm very passionate about, because it means, particularly in remote and regional communities, the idea that traditional owners can be the job creators for their regions, for their families, and create opportunities is really something that I'm very passionate about. And of course, I want to understand where a lot of the billions of dollars have been spent over the years with regard to, supposedly bridging that gap. And that is something that I am going to be like a dog with a bone on going forward during Senate estimates. Absolutely. I want to know where those billions of dollars has been spent, where it's actually being effective, who's actually meeting KPIs and meeting their objectives in terms of closing the gap. There's those sorts of issues. I want to work very closely with my colleague Karen Little on the issues of child protection for Indigenous children and across other areas, obviously, in terms of domestic and family violence, and those issues that I have been advocating for many, many years now. So they're very close to my heart. But certainly when it comes to finance and administration for Indigenous advancement, those are areas that I am very concerned with and want to certainly focus on immediately as part of the portfolio also.
We love you. We're so proud of you. Thanks for starting another busy week with us, mate. Appreciate it. All the best. Our good Senator Jacinta Price there.